and the ribs open. So if you close the ribs and you lift the tummy, you're actually opening your back. So I want you to feel that. Start with that. Place your hands here. Your legs can be anywhere they want. Soften the ribs and breathe out as if you're pushing a ball and you're sucking this down, this together in the ribs and tummy up. Squeezing. Shoulders relax. So the way to relax your shoulders is to think of lengthening your elbows instead of bringing your hands together. Pull the elbows outwards, shoulders relax down, and you squeeze in the tummy. Now, when you do that, notice if you have a bit of a kind of a wrap of the bum and a lift of the lower belly and an opening of the lower back. You can make this our breathing exercise. So very often I set up too tall, 2 ribs, and this will bring me back to neutral. And then you come up with the inhalation. Don't go too far forward. What I notice for myself is that there's a tremendous amount of strength coming from the belly. And even holding the belly in there, and I lift and lengthen and open. So breathing out the mouth is quite good, is good for the nervous system. And if you really exaggerate it, which you can, because it's a simple exercise, like lift, squeeze, extend, really, really hug it, and lift the tummy and then open out. But you don't open, you're still holding the stomach. So the stomach, I don't know, I can burn my stomach. I'm burning these muscles around. Let's do one more. So you've got all the stomach muscles, then you relax your hands down and you inhale. Just come to neutral. So then you think, oh no, but I must hold tight. No, you can just drop all the muscles that you're holding because you already stacked all the bones just to sit. Okay. So stretch your legs out in front of you. So the story continues. So she taught me how to do that by going like pushing it out, just almost like a bodybuilder. I think the bodybuilders would. Like you breathe out to make. So if you put your hand between your rib cage and you breathe out, it makes quite hard muscle there. But I'm an extremist, so eventually mine actually started to become like a hernia. So I was like, something in me was like, no, and I just subconsciously stopped doing it. And 2 years later, she said to me, Jeanette, have you got your upper abs? I said to her, I don't know, yes. And then I was actually doing that again. I was opening it out. So if you open it out and you stretch, you can feel this actually gets quite loose. And if you bring it in, do that again, then it gets strong. But I didn't have to push it out. So that's why I had to find that I'm strengthening the upper abs, not necessarily by pushing out. So when you use your stomach, there's 2 things that I do. I want you to place your hands behind your back and just chill like you're on the beach. And there, tilt your pelvis, pull your hip bones towards the rib cage, and then release. You can go into an arch if you want. It's nice stretch in your shoulders. And then lift the tummy to curl it back in. You make space, curl the hips to the ribs to the hips, and then suck the tummy and open out. Good, exhaling, dropping. So you know how computer nerds sit? I said to my husband one day, you guys sit always on your coccyx. He says, I don't sit on my coccyx. I sit on my lower back. So he was like, really? So let's go right up to there. Inhale, lift. So you're there on your sit bones. You can feel the sit bones. Now you lift the tummy, you drop your ribs, you relax your back, and you roll all the way. Try and squeeze your bum, pull the thighs into your body until you can balance. Kind of like try and get your lower back on the floor, and then you use your stomach to come up and out. And tilt the pelvis and roll round your back. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. So it was only like maybe the 3rd, 4th time my teacher was talking about the upper abs that I really got them. And it was a lot of thinking. not just, yeah, I got them, and it didn't just happen for me. It was a lot of going through the minefield of beliefs and shoulds and shouldn'ts and other things that I've heard before. And so something's not ever, maybe it's just me, simple. So if you can feel, you can come onto your elbows after that one. And there, now you're sitting like a good computer nerd. Lift your hips, drop your ribs, squeeze. Can you feel how the hip flexors are completely open, the lower back? So you're squeezing to try and push your lower back into the ground. Now if you lift the leg, there's no neck muscles pulling. It's all in the abs. You feel that? Even the muscles coming into the pubic bone, from the hip bone to the pubic bone. There's strong muscles there. Good. And I'm burning. I hope you're burning, Jeline. Drop the ribs, lift the hip bones, squeeze. Pull them together. The legs should be reasonably light. Now, the stronger the psoas and the abs become, the lighter your limbs become, because it's like the core. It's like the sun with its sun rays shining out. You've got the strength right in the center, but the limbs are attached and lengthened out from that. So I remember a time when my legs were super heavy. So keep sucking into the tummy, squeeze the bum, and push down in the lower back to lift the legs. Push down in the lower back, lift the legs. Good. One more on each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And come lie down just to stretch them out. Place your feet ready for bridge, feet close to the bum. And think of your knees going forward. We drop the ribs, relax the chest, and squeeze. Wrap your bum and send the knees forward into your bridge. Breathe, relax. You can go a little bit down and a little bit more up. And when you go down, it's nice to feel softening in your shoulder blades, softening in the ribs, and then pushing the hips higher. Softening in your chest and sending the knees forward. Softening and sending up. Good. If it's really a little hectic, you just drop your bum down, even a little arch, but relax your chest and scoot. Oh, that's a perfect example to show you where, if you think of dropping your bum down, do you feel like your chest is coming to the chin and you're staying a little bit in an arch? So if you just hold that, then you go, just drop the chest. And then the hips are working alone. You just drop your chest. So it's nice when I don't know if you can see nicely on the cameras, but I drop the chest. Okay, so breath out, we'll release. And you can come down and then keep it relaxed in the chest. Inhale. I always used to be super artist, super tense. Yeah, there. Cool. And relax. Now, as you roll down, make sure you're putting your lower back down onto the floor again. Suck the tummy, straighten the legs out in front of you. Take the arms up to the sky, can reach them out. Lift your shoulders off the floor as you pull your chest down. Push your pull the hip bones to the rib cage, and then pull the hands to the toes as you look to the toes. So now we're trying to really curl, lifting your head, neck, and shoulders off. Try and curl yourself off the floor. Try and make your lower back as long as you can. And you pull up, and then you put it down as long as you can. Exhaling. You ready? Inhale, exhale, and push your back down. Tuck your chin and pull. Think of pulling to the toes. Hold it and gently down. So the longer you can hold it as you come down, the more you can put on the floor. Then it's lower back, middle back, upper back, and keep the ribs down as you stretch your arms above. So there's another one. I just want to quickly, okay, you guys might want to sit up and watch, but when you lying down on the floor, I'm going to show you without the black clothes. When you're on the floor, what often happens, I can just drop and lift my ribs off the floor. So I want rather hands there. So I'm going to suck the tummy, scoop, put it all down on the floor, lower back, middle back, upper back, shoulders. So I am really squeezing here in the front, and eventually I'll realize, okay, I can relax the shoulders and still hold the core and relax down. So there, I'm a straight line. But what happens often is the arms have to go over. So it's a nice game. It took me quite a few years to keep my ribs down. But as you take, so I use not ribs muscles, but from hips to ribs, you're pulling down, you're pulling down. I'm pushing my hip bones forward, I'm pushing the hip flexor open. I have to pull out, lengthen the shoulder joints, and keep the rib cage down on the floor. Now I know it's early morning, your shoulders might be tight, your lats might be tight, but try it. Okay, are you happy? Okay, so we go from there. You can even have knees bent, scoop, push the hips forward, shoulders relax, and suck the tummy down, and then try and pull the arms away so you really flatten out. As your arms come above, push yourself down on the floor. Push, 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 and then bring your head in and push down to pull up again. Yeah, so you might even come all the way up, and you don't have to. Okay, pull, 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 pull. It's really just finding the muscles with your mind, the mind-body connection. Pull down in your stomach, down in your ribs, open in your hips, squeezing the bum, tuck your chin and pull up. Good, last one, and squeeze, come down. If you got that beautiful position there, and you got your ribs down, you'll find if you lift a leg, there was no effort really. Try it. You're pushing your body down, shoulders down down your back, and you can do leg raises without killing your hip flexor. I hope you found it. If you did, well done. If you didn't, keep enjoying the journey of finding the right muscles for the job. Push down. Good. If that's quite difficult, try this. Slide, push your lower back into the ground and slide your knees up. That's a nice one. I think you should all just do that. Because now I'm getting my lower abs and slide down. So very often, even if you've got a little bit of a curve, try and as you bend your knees, push so that your coccyx lifts up to the inside of your knee. It's pointing in the direction of your knees, and then slide back down. Okay, don't arch. Try not to arch. Push down. Slide your feet towards your bum. Slide. And then that's what can lift them up. And then you can carry them down and slide them down. Suck the tummy down. Good. 3 more. And pull, 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 pull. That pulling action we do, lots of people practice it with socks on tiles or wood floor, on sliders. Push down. That really good action for the abs to activate. And push down, slide it in, slide it in. Good, relax. Just place your arms down slowly by the side of your body. Open your feet wider. And relax, drop into a twist. So with other words, if I give it a summary of how I teach, it's keep your back always relaxed. You might think, oh, I have to get flexible in this one too. And you go there, you go, wait a minute, just relax. So your breath out will become your friend of reminder. Where can I drop more? Where can I relax more? So even when you pick the legs up, think of the lower back coming down, and then you can just switch. And check that you're as relaxed as possible. You breathe out. And slowly come back. So I've been having people have been laughing because I've been asking them, when you do a forward fold, does your ribs touch do the ribs touch your thighs first? And everybody just laughs like, no, Jeanette. But when I get them in this position, okay, so bend your knees and hug your legs. Oh, my ribs are good this morning. Okay, so notice, is your back so straight that your ribs kind of touch your thighs first? Then there's tension in the back. So you want to lengthen out, round, scoop your knees closer into your face, hold it there, and then roll back. So it's stronger stomach. What that means is that your bum's going to roll off the floor, going to lift up. And then your ribs are feeling like they're pointing downwards towards your hip bones, not into the thighs. And that's a very nice position. That will open out your back. So if you can't get that yet, just keep practicing ribs down, stretch arms like tummy, and eventually the stomach will get stronger to be able to bring the thighs in. And then another problem is the upper back is tight, so the neck starts to arch backwards. And so you can just lift the head, and there as well, you start to lengthen the upper back muscles by pushing it down, smearing it down, and trying to get that out and take a chin in. So in the beginning, just lift it up, try and make it long, put it down if it happens. Okay, so that's a very long spine. Good. Put ankle on the knee, and now you got your hips up, hey, you got your stomach working. But push the knee out a little bit that's just, yeah, when my hip was very, I used to just say to it, come, let's go that way, and push a little bit. Place your hand around under the thigh and bring the leg in. Again, that's going to make such a difference for the hip flexor, because generally we kind of think we have to fold. But you can push away, suck your tummy down, push away, and then you don't just fold towards yourself, you keep the legs active and they come up and around towards you. And gently come down. The leg that's at the top, put it on the floor, turn your knee up to the sky and twist towards the bottom leg. Now you can take the top arm on the knee and help to the lovely stretch for the lower back. So the reason I had dropped my upper abs and forgot about them is because I wanted length. But then eventually when it all came together, you get the length by pulling, you hold the strength and then you pull out of the strength. Okay, gently come back. Take the other leg, ankle on the knee. First, have you got your tummy muscles? The ribs down, ankle on the knee, hold the thigh, flex the feet, press away, and then scoop. So it doesn't bend too much here. It sucks. It makes a bit of a more round bend as you bring the legs in towards the body. And now I said you can stretch out from the strength. So I can open myself up a little more, but hold the stomach and then try and extend. Don't just extend without the strength. For me, that was vital importance. Place the foot down onto the ground, turn the knee in and drop towards the bottom leg side. Take that arm and place it over the thigh if you want a deeper stretch. I said to my husband this morning, what am I going to teach him this morning? I said, okay, now I'm going to teach him Budokan. Oh my. And as soon as the class started, I'm like, I look at the time now, I go, okay, well, basically what I wanted to teach you was a forward fold this morning when I actually started teaching. So eventually we got there. So I'm going to show you now. Come back. Knees in and just roll up to seated. So we came to the forward fold. First, before you do a forward fold, because I think you must let me know, I would be so interested, is even if you are quite rounded and this is your forward fold, or if some people's pelvises just can do that. I don't know if there's anybody in the class that pelvis just easily does that, and then they think forward fold, oh great, they look brilliant. And then the people who can't do that think that one they're also right. Hey, they want that. They want what that person can do with their pelvis. So it's not really that. You want to hold the pelvis and then pull out of the pelvis really strong. So I'm going to say to you first, try and get your head on your knee. Forget about everything and scoop, squeeze your bum, lift, make space inside. So you're coming over the big ball. If you can hold your toes, great. Otherwise, just put your hands next to your legs and try and curl. So you try and look into your navel. But at the same time as looking into navel, shoulders relax, and you push your back up into the sky. So I'm rounding the back. Even if I bend my knees, bending knees is great. You can try it. Then your knee can touch the forehead and you scoop, shoulders relax. Okay, the way you now, you might have touched your knees. Try and straighten your legs and keeping your head on the knees. That's a lovely back stretch. And slowly to come up. So of course, that is called Paschimottanasana, which actually means Western stretch, which actually means stretching the back of your body. And if you're doing this, you're never stretching the back of your body. I don't know what we're doing. Okay, you are trying to stretch the back line, but try, instead of thinking of just the legs, that it's the back. So I lift up in the front, so do that. Now we're gonna go, not just try to get the head on the knees, lift, drop the ribs, squeeze the bum, lift out of it, lift, lift, lift. Like you're pulling back and you're lifting, 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 and then lengthening forward, lengthening forward. Using your stomach, my stomach feels like it's pulling back as I'm trying to lengthen out of the stomach going forward. Notice how strong the legs have become. I hope. Then pressing down, lift the tummy, shoulders relax, draw yourself back up. So you're lifting up from the stomach again. And breathe. Good. Come to stand. You can just bend one leg, shift over, push, maybe. Okay. I'm going to show it to you in triangle pose. Because what I often see, now we all got some kind of arch in the lower back, some of you less than others. So the bum is going, I'll show you this way, because then the bum is going to be sticking out. But what's the difference between that and now if I get my core there? So yes, I still got the bum, I still got a lower back arch, but the difference is the one is stable, is the one is strong. So I want you to stand facing me, or facing two legs equal. Doesn't matter where you are on your mat. Feet hip. When you feet are 45 or even less. Some of you have done karate as children. Okay, feet less. Now the knees press out, and in that, when the knees are starting, try and press the knees out. Push your hips forward. Drop the ribs. Relax. Okay, so we're relaxing in the upper torso and trying to push the knees out. So my knees are trying to go over my foot, but not easy work. So that is called the horse stance in martial arts. In yoga, they've coined it the goddess pose. You're lifting up in the core. So sometimes it will just be easier for some people to just get it there. So try not to. Push the knees back, pull the ribs back, soften, pull the tummy back, push the knees. It then comes stand, straighten the legs. Notice how that feels. You lift it, turn the left foot in, turn the right foot out. And instead of just being in your hips and standing in a triangle pose, you've actually found lift and pushing in the legs, nice and strong in the legs, arms up to the side, and now go to triangle pose, reaching, breathe. So your legs carried you down. Notice you're still lifting in the belly. Inhale to come up. Turn to the other side. Let's go back to goddess. Back to horse stance. Feet 45. Try and push your knees out. Hands can be just on the hips, so in prayer or even in reverse prayer position. Quite a nice one, because then I have to push. I can feel pushing my heart back into the little fingers. Good. Straighten up. Turn the right foot in. And keep lifting in the legs, left foot, keep the strength in the legs, lift the tummy, lift the arms, and exhale to the other side. Breathe. I hope that was your nicest triangle pose ever. So you're not dunking into the legs, you're actually lifting You're pressing the feet down, lifting in the belly. Inhale, and then it's easy to come out of the pose because there's no weight, just pushing down. Good. Take a leg and come down. Again. So that was hard work, standing poses. Good. Let's go. Swing one leg around behind you. So you can keep a little bit bent, or you could get it straight underneath you. You could work this leg to 90, but don't be harsh. And relax. As long as you're getting a feeling. Oh my, I must tell you. So I was doing a little exercise with somebody. They said, okay, now you're going to channel. I said, what does your soul self want to tell you today? And my soul self told me, feel the world. Feel yourself. Keep feeling. It is the gateway to your soul through your heart. So last night, my husband decides he wants to watch Inception again. And as they're busy building the construct of the dream, the character, the girl, says, the dream is more about feeling than it is thoughts. Yeah, it's all about feeling. So you feel your body, yeah. You recognize your existence. And you're in a space of experiencing your existence through your heart. Okay, slowly come back and just swing your leg around. You can place it 90, you place a little bit in if you like, and then the back leg is just determined how much you can. You lift around. So when I do describe what you want to do in your body, it's kind of guiding you to a certain feeling, certain understanding, but then a certain feeling connection. And gently to relax, roll back, square the leg forward, and then just take a few rolls over it, throw the legs, lift the tummy, and throw. You can cross your legs or just come sit and then throw over. You can bend the knees, you can hold the toes, there's all kinds of variations, yeah. But again, think of what we've just learned about how you scooping from the stomach, then you'll notice this roll is quite easier and nicer feeling than you might have thought. Use your whole back on the floor. Good. Last one. And then I would like to invite you to come to seated for the meditation. We're going to use your root lock, your perineum. If you want to sit on a cushion, you can. Yeah, okay. Mula Bandha, the root lock. Fine. You can scoop yourself in and then press down through the sit bones. And once you got your alignment, drop all the muscles. Close the eyes. Notice you are just breathing. You are feeling yourself in time and space. Come to an awareness of the base of your body. So whenever I start this, the women go, Kegel exercise. I go, yes, it's Kegel exercise. The contraction of the pelvic floor. There's 3 sections of the pelvic floor: front, middle, back. Back, the anus; front, the genitals; and the middle is the perineum. In the beginning, you can play around, you can feel, okay, is anus quite sensitive? I said to them, the front is normally the genitals. because we're normally more connected essentially to the front of the body. You might find it there. And eventually also the perineum. A little bit, maybe a little more difficult, but you just basically think of contracting the whole pelvic floor, all three sections. Contract, release, contract, release. And not hard work. Also watch that you don't, when you contract, don't do a Jeanette move, lifting up and going all tense. You're staying very relaxed and you're isolating the pelvic floor muscles. It's just a squeeze. For me, I almost feel a downer movement, like squeezing. And then when I release, it opens. Like I might lift a millimeter higher. Squeezing, releasing. But essentially you'd be standing very still. Feel it with your mind. Squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. And you might start finding a warmth. That's the activation of the pelvic floor, and in the yogic context, they described the Kundalini, the Shakti, the primal force rising, reaching its potential. I mean, now you can just release there and relax. You're going to use your breath. First start, inhale, and on the exhale, contract. Release on the inhale. Contract on the exhale. Now, opposites. Just take a breath in between. Contract on your inhale and release on your exhale. Now, with that inhalation, imagine you contracting and pulling. Feel if you can feel something rising, maybe to the lower tummy, to the belly. And if you find that the feeling just goes up to the heart, to the throat, then continue with that. Or you might just feel the heat building at the base. If you use your imagination, maybe you can imagine that you're pulling that heat up your spine. Don't think that your imagination is just imagination. Also, I constantly have to relax the hip flexor. I tend to not isolate just the pelvic floor, but trying to kind of lift in the hips as well. So see if you can relax and just isolate the pelvic floor. So that's where it really helps to sit on a cushion or a little height. Keep relaxing the legs, relaxing the torso. Okay, then after the next one, relax completely and just watch for a moment. The breathing normal. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.